I imagine going to one of these old folks' homes, retirement community, and just spending some time with some of these guys, like just the stories you'd hear. You know what I mean? The lives that they've lived. I would picture just like topping some guys off, doing my rounds and just hearing stories about like this guy worked with the first IBM computer at the State Department, or this guy was a chef on a battleship, or just all these crazy stories that you can only get from a lifetime of experience.
That's crazy. A chef on a battleship.
Yeah.
Blowing up our enemies.
And
that's someone nurturing. That's someone who's nurtured a whole ship full of the horniest guys on the sea.
Yeah.
And he probably didn't get any bit of like attention from a woman. I mean, who knows what goes on those ships? I've heard they're notorious for kind of a certain kind of activity. That's neither here nor there.
Welcome to the Fantasy Cast podcast, where three grown men pass the time by sharing their deepest, darkest fantasies. Here we go.
I've got COVID.
Oh shit!
What are your symptoms?
Just all of them.
Damn.
I feel all right now.
Is it better the second time?
No, this was actually worse than the first time I got it.
Oh shit!
But
that's what happened to me too.
Yeah, it was like I had a really bad headache, crazy headache. And that was the worst part about it. And I'm coughing, and I got so many people sick at work because I didn't know I had it.
Yeah.
Did you tell?
Yeah. So on like Tuesday, I started feeling like shit. And then I went to work on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I left early because I felt sick and called off Friday. So you're supposedly contagious from like the day you feel symptoms to like the time your fever breaks, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So my fever broke on like Thursday night. So at that point, I already given 18 other men COVID.
Good for them.
Yeah, it builds character.
If they didn't get it from you, they already got it somewhere else.
Well, yeah.
On the street.
Yeah. So there's like no one at work, which is fun.
You took it down.
Do you get sick time?
No, it's all just included in our paid time off.
Yeah. How many paid time off days you get?
15.
Yeah, okay. That's not bad.
It's not bad, but also it's not.
Right, because you got to use that for vacation and everything.
Yeah.
Well, if they didn't want people coming in sick with COVID, then they would have more generous, like sick. You know what I mean? So like you didn't feel like you had to come in or burn out a paid time off.
Right. Yeah, I'm a little fucked up.
You have any cool
You look great, John. You look great.
Thanks.
You look like you lost some weight.
Healthy. You're looking thin in the face.
Appreciate it.
Hey, John, I mean to ask. A couple weeks ago, you talked about the prophecy of the Pong raffle, and I was wondering if you guys declared a winner for that.
Yes, Grayson Northcutt won first prize.
Love Grayston.
So he's going to get his phone back. I'm going to personally hand deliver his phone. And he gets 30 days. He gets extra cloud storage for 30 days. And I think I'm probably going to take him out to lunch and just see where his head's at as far as possibly being a counselor at Punk Camp.
Yeah, well, you have all those, you guys still have all those Costco gift cards, so you could take them to the cafeteria there.
Yeah, we got a bunch of those.
That's cool.
Grayson Northcutt. It's a combination of two men I went to grade school with.
Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, Mike? I feel like you want to say something.
I got nothing to say.
Sure you do. Come on.
It's just the same old stuff. It doesn't involve me in any way.
What?
It's good that there's different voices on the podcast, so that there's it gives everyone gets represented.
Yeah.
For fantasy culture.
Sure.
And what you guys do is spiritually different than how I think it should go down. I'm editing one of the episodes right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be released soon. And you're talking, just for an example, you mentioned that last episode that for you, fantasies are useful to get men, like young men, to like touch themselves and stuff, explore their bodies. We had
that sounds like it's out of context, but
we had a bit of an argument about that. I said it's about something else. It's something bigger. Yeah. It's not about something so simple. And that's it. By all means, do prophecy of the tongue or whatever it's called. And
fucking rude. How rude.
And you guys can do that.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's okay to chat about it here. I just, I'll keep my mouth shut. It's nothing to do with me. I have my own thing going on. I have Mike Lopez Nation. That's my thing. It's kind of more of it's more counterculture role. Mm-hmm. Less about, getting money from people. It's kind of about full acceptance. Finding people to feel loved who maybe don't normally feel loved, to give them attention and have them feel heard. That's what what I want to do.
Yeah. I hear you talk about Mike Lopez Nation a lot, but you don't really talk about what it is exactly. And every time, I ask, you kind of brush it off. You tell me not to worry about it. And, I just, I don't have to know. You don't have to tell me. But it seems like there's a lot of, Mike Lopez Nation was born out of a lot of feelings of exclusion and resistance to prophecy of the tongue. So
I think you're flattering yourself. It's not really about that, about directly against prophecy of the tongue. It's not. I'm not defining myself based on your whatever you guys got going. It's a movement. It's just in the air. Someone needs to pin it down. I have a voice and a platform to promote it. So I'm going to promote this movement. And it's about being people's friends, being there for them, other people being there for me, to feel. I really don't want to. Can we just start? I think we should just there's more news in the pipeline, in the works coming up. So
yeah,
sit tight, buckle up. Mike Lopez Nation has some stuff in the works. It's not merchandise. It costs no money. It's about having space for people.
Yeah. That's
carving
cool.
out a space where there just normally isn't one, of care and it's
yeah, no, I get that. Hey John, listen, I've been working on the formula so for those of you guys out there who don't know, C4 what's that?
John,
no, it's a little key. I'm just playing with it.
I gotcha. or I'll unpin you.
The C4 Energy Drink Company has expressed interest in wanting to start a Prophecy of the Plung energy drink. So we're thinking about different flavors. Welcome any feedback that's coming up. One of the things that we're thinking about is Swedish Fish Fireball and Lemonhead Sprite. I thought that'd be cool. So yeah, it'd be tasty. So just something something to look forward to that we hope comes out. If you get enough guys to tag C4 Energy Drink.
That's like an alcohol drink.
No, it's a pre-workout.
It's like a pre-workout. Yeah,
it's for guys who want to get like absolute just shredded beyond belief.
It's like a stir.
I'd love like a honey bomb. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, that'd be like cool.
Straight like honey flavor.
It's got kratom in it or like steroids.
You can put whatever you want. That's what's great about it.
I think it's got so that fucking shit I think it's creatine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You can drink one of them.
Bang.
Drink one of those instead of going to the gym. It's cool. If you don't have time to go to the gym, you just slam one of those and it basically does the same thing.
Yeah, it just throws water into your muscles.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to work out really.
You don't have to do shit.
It throws water into your muscles.
Just go straight. It just finds the muscle.
Yeah.
And it just it looks like you have like a little pump going.
Ooh, that's cool.
It's cool.
Well, I'm happy for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, by all means. Like I say, by all means.
Without further ado, are you guys done talking about this?
John's sad as fuck right now. I can't even look at this dude. It looks like he's dressed like a monk.
It's
like
a hooded sweatshirt. What you look like you have dreadlocks. Bitch.
What are you talking about? Let me pin my ass.
I'm talking about your hat. You look like you're hiding dreadlocks.
I'm bald, man. I can't pull that off. It's the Mike you've always known. You know? I'm the boy you've always known. I'm still the boy you've always known.
Can I read you guys this fantasy I pulled off Reddit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's called My Wife Loves Giving Mercy Sex to Older Guys and Virgins. This has been a turn on for my wife for a long time now. And ever since she told me about it, I actually find the idea really hot as well. She loves helping guys out who are usually much older, who have gone without sex for a very long time due to divorce, being widowed, or just being stuck in a stale marriage. She is very turned on by knowing that she's giving them such immense relief, and they have needed it for a long time, and knowing how excited they are. But aside from the erotic thrill aspect of it, it generally just makes her feel happy for them as well because she's a very empathetic, caring, and nurturing person by nature. So much so that even one and only kink revolves around empathy. I guess she just has a thing for helpful sex, if that's even considered a kink. She's a very sweet person and has a heart of gold. It's not just merely sex either. She will go out on a date with them so they can both spend all day cultivating a social bond, so that way the evening will be more romantic and intimate. She makes it really intimate and loving for them too, and prefers to make love with them and sleep overnight with them so they can experience actual intimacy along with sex. I don't mind her doing this at all because I think it's really sexy and hot, but it's also just really cool and wholesome, and I feel really happy for those guys too. She has done this for virgins too, but that has only happened a few times. She tends to help older men more often. That's the end of the fantasy.
Can you give me more context? This is someone fantasizing that their wife does this?
This is from the nonfiction subreddit, or the sexy stories subreddit. Supposedly it's nonfiction, but apparently this guy's wife does this stuff.
It's just like a cucking thing, right?
Yeah, it seems like that's what it is. It's dressed up like his wife is actually doing something altruistic.
Like a fucking nun or some shit, yeah.
It's incredibly hot.
Yeah. The way he described
there is something hot about it.
It's incredibly hot. It's incredibly sexy.
Say more about that, Mike.
Well, how to frame it? When it starts off, it's about empathy. You know what I mean? There's just nothing more sexual than extreme empathy for miserable people, such as virgins or older people who are divorced.
Yeah, single people.
Or single people, that's right. And the idea of just being a man. Can you imagine being at home knowing that your wife is spending quality time not with you but someone else, and then having sex with them? It doesn't even go into details about what kind of sex they're having, and the mind just reels. And I think that's incredibly sexual and sexy.
Yeah. What do you guys imagine yourself doing in that nurturing kind of sexual Mother Teresa role?
Right off the bat, warm bath, washing the body with a warm rag, maybe in a bathtub, or even just on a bed with like a tarp on it.
Yeah.
Cleaning the nails, meticulously cleaning a body that hasn't been loved or touched in so long. That would be so nice to do to some of these shelled out people. And doing that with a virgin, can you imagine? My God, their first sexual experience is with an older woman who is cleaning and scrubbing their body every inch, drying it with a towel, and then having sexual intercourse with them.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I imagine going to one of these old folks' homes, retirement community, and just spending some time with some of these guys, like just the stories you'd hear, you know what I mean? The lives that they've lived. I would picture just, like topping some guys off, doing my rounds and just hearing stories about like, this guy worked with the first IBM computer at the State Department, or this guy was a chef on a battleship, or just all these crazy stories that you can only get from a lifetime of experience.
That's crazy. A chef on a battleship.
Yeah,
blowing up our enemies.
And that's someone
nurturing. That's someone who's nurtured a whole ship full of the horniest guys on the sea.
Yeah.
And he probably doesn't get any bit of like attention from a woman. I mean, who knows what goes on those ships? I've heard they're notorious for a certain kind of activity. That's neither here nor there, but that is really,
it would be an honor,
really cool
to fuck or get fucked by a Korean War veteran.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
I said it would be an honor to fuck or get fucked by a Korean War veteran. Just to make a Korean War veteran or even a Vietnam veteran come would be an honor.
After you pleasure,
I'd let them know that that's what I did, why I did it too.
I picture I'm in a hotel. I'm wearing eyeliner and a thong pulled to the side, with like a neon green tank top cut off.
Yeah.
Like middle.
Yeah.
Washboard abs. Full head of hair. I look like a human doll. Boy.
Yeah.
Man. And I pleasure this guy. He's squirming on the bed.
Yeah.
I stand up. Sun is beaming through the blinds from the motel parking lot.
Yeah.
And I salute them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully upright, perfect posture, and I salute them.
Yeah.
As they're squirming before me, like a little worm.
Yeah. That just made me think of something. Like I take
a 90-year-old vet.
I take a vet in their wheelchair to a hotel like that, bring their oxygen in there, set them up. I pretend it's like 5 o'clock in the evening, maybe a little earlier, but I pretend it's the 4th. It's New Year's Eve, and I do a little countdown, and I'm dressed up in like a skimpy, like a outfit you would imagine like a 1970s street worker to be wearing. And
you're female in this. You're female.
Whatever. Either way, I'm dressed in these clothes.
Nice.
And I shoot off some poppers. I do a striptease to Let All Acquaintance Be Forgot.
Oh, I love that song.
This guy is just like a completely blasted out alcoholic. The reason why he hasn't had sex in so long is because he's, just his whole family and everybody he's ever cared for has deserted him because he's such a degenerate. Mm-hmm. And here I am, just like giving him one last lap around the pool, so to speak. Doing everything I can to try to make this brave veteran come.
You don't have a lot going on in your life. That New Year's Eve song comes on. Mm-hmm. You both look at the fireworks through the motel window. Mm-hmm. You both realize you're in the same boat. The oxygen tank has been filling up the room this entire time.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
One last cigarette, my friend?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I think I would like that. You both know what's going to happen. You light it, fireworks.
Yeah. God, just that sense of relief that you get from that.
There's a biker outside for some reason, gets knocked off the bike from the blast.
A cyclist.
Mm-hmm. Cyclist.
As soon as you said the oxygen filled the room, and I knew exactly what you're talking about, Mike, my heart rate dropped like 10 beats per minute. I just felt so calm and relaxed.
It's like that noise from Inception.
Yeah. Can you do it? I like that, yeah. John, how would you sexually nurture somebody if you were on this like escapade to make the world right through sexual healing?
I probably do. Since you guys are handling soldiers and like vets, I would put up I'd set up a hotline.
Uh-huh.
And I would find women that helped in the war effort as far as like working on artillery and like building, making flags, and they come to my office and I make them squirt. Like everyone is entitled to. I've got like a crew of guys that I train. How to squirt, how to make a woman squirt, and we just, I don't know. It's just like another. We can't offer them money, but we can offer them that.
It's like on the 8th floor of like an office building, or like where's this happening?
Yeah, it's like just in a strip mall suburb.
What's crazy is programs like that get the funding gets threatened all the time. Well,
so yeah,
I could see showing up to Congress and talking to some guys and make sure that they get these veterans some dignity.
It's good optics. I mean, there's not a politician out there, left side, right side, that wouldn't want a piece of this pie.
Yeah. Get a photo op where they're just covered head to toe in squirt.
My knee, it's like up to my knees. Just the office is just flooded.
Yeah. Any of you guys have any fantasies that you've been using to arouse yourselves, or that you want to share with people?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had we drove to Iowa. I was thinking about how often I used to drive back from Chicago to Dayton, and I'd make like a mix CD. Like I didn't have an iPod for a long time, so I just have to make these CDs, and sometimes they barely worked, So I was thinking about making a cross country drive, and I have like 10 mix CDs that I made, and I'm like an hour outside of the city, and I throw one on, and it doesn't work. So I'm just like, I'm gonna stop at a Best Buy at some point, but I'm just like, I'll just keep driving a little bit, see how far I get. I throw on another CD, it's still just none of them worked at all. I'm like maybe 5 hours in at this point, and I'm just kind of looking at every car I go past, like really staring at every driver, and just kind of being a nuisance on the road, driving super fast. And I pull up to a car, and there's a bumper sticker that says says my pronouns are throat goat. So I pull up and I kind of look over at the driver, and it's this dude, and we lock eyes. Sort of nods at me, and I nod at him. Then he gives me like the international sign of that he's getting head. Like he's just throws his hand up, rocks it back and forth, and I'm like, word, like for real, and he's just like, So I get a little closer to him, and I'm leaning up really far to try to see into this car. I can see this woman's head bobbing up, so I get out my penis and start masturbating a little bit. And I look at him and I give him the sign that I'm jacking off, and he's just like, he gives me a thumbs up, and I give him a thumbs up. And then so we're driving, we're going like almost 100 miles per hour. Like he's into the speed is kind of turning him on as well. Me too. And I try to tell him that I need to see her. I'd like to see her ass. So I'm just like, I'm screaming out the window. I'm like, can you make her lift her ass up a little bit so I can see her ass? And he can't hear anything I'm saying. I'm just like, no, just have her lift her, just have her put her butt up a little bit and pull her pants down so I can see her underwear. And he's like, he's just kind of annoyed, so he goes faster. So sort of chasing him, and I kind of draw an ass, like I breathe onto the window, make like my breath on there, and I draw ass. And he's like, oh. So he gets her up, she pulls her pants down, she's wearing a lime green thong, and I bust a nut. He drives off, and I grab a Taco Bell wrapper to clean myself off, and I'm just kind of fumbling with it, and I step on the gas, and I hit a guardrail going 120 miles per hour, die. That's it.
Wow. That's incredible. Unreal.
That was intense.
Have you guys ever done that?
Yeah. Something like a variation of it.
Just highway jacking?
I don't think I've blasted while behind. Yeah, I've definitely blasted. I don't know if it's been self-imposed.
Oh, you were getting...
Might have been getting toppy.
Oh, nice.
But driving and blasting is difficult to...
Yeah.
I saw a Ukrainian teenager in like one of those, like a little speedy car. I don't know what you call him. The spoiler, I saw him getting some roadhead. I just got out of my car and was going into my house, and I just followed this guy around until basically we both finished. But anyways, let's get back to your fantasy. That was incredible, unreal.
Mm-hmm.
I've been taking notes. I'm trying to get more. I really want to look at the structure here. Okay. This is a great fantasy because you don't know where it's going. I originally thought, hey, John's going to put on a CD.
No CD. No tracks. If you don't got tracks, you got a jack.
I thought you were going to find that one of the CDs was pornography, and you hear the audio track of pornography.
I've done that before.
Yeah, that's where I thought, because you mentioned that, and I was like, oh, I know where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see that was the root of this fantasy. You took it somewhere else. Then you see the throat goat, and you think it just has lets you put together, you just build it up with such momentum. It's just an incredible fantasy. I'm loving it so much. You know what I mean? You see the throat goat, you think that it's going to be a woman that's a throat goat.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't care if it's the throat goat. I want to see who's driving that car.
Let me see my piece. Let me see my piece.
Yeah,
what's going on through my mind.
Yeah, it's your fantasy. Go ahead.
No, it's not my fantasy.
Go ahead.
I'm saying I want to let you know what's going on through my mind so you can see how other people are responding to it.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Oh my God.
No, go ahead.
Oh God. Okay. Forget it. I don't want to do it now.
No,
Okay.
I'm dying.
So you see a man, right? And then you're like, all right. Then it's implied that you're like, okay, you're into this guy. And I'm like, okay, he's gonna get throat goated by this man. But no, this man's getting a blow job from a woman. Okay, and you're all for that, and you two have a rapport, and that is just about friendship, and that's really interesting. You know what I mean? Seeing two, and just it just speaks to. I'll wrap it up soon, but it just speaks to a lot of things. People sharing their sexual fantasies on the road, going 100 miles an hour. It can only the mind just makes you think of the movie Crash. You know what I mean? We're all driving around, and the only way we're going to come into each other is when we crash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's when we die. That's actually, you don't die. Everyone doesn't die alone. Because everyone does die, it's universal. You know, we all die. It's one thing we can connect on. And I just thought that was beautiful. That's all I wanted to say. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to step on your fantasy. I'm just going about it a little bit different this episode. I'm trying to be more involved.
Appreciate it.
Person.
That was a pretty sophisticated analysis. I liked it, John, when you drew the ass on the window of the car.
Yeah, I had to breathe on it. It was
pretty hot.
I had to turn up the air conditioning in my car because it was middle of summer too, so it was hard to get
it nice and steamy.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this: what kind of ass did you draw? Did you draw like a big, like a dump truck, like a dumper, or did you draw like a tight little?
No, it wasn't even a good drawing. It was it could have implied that I wanted to see her tits. Like it was just.
Oh yeah.
I just did a W, you know, just a quick W.
Yeah.
With my left hand.
And he's getting frustrated with you at this point.
He's a little annoyed.
It's like, what do you want?
He's like, I'm giving you the show. Like, why can't this just be enough?
Yeah.
Like, you get to see what you can see, you know?
Yeah.
If you want to see her ass, drive a truck.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this, though. If the ass went up there and you saw whale tail, would that have made it better, worse, the same? Like, what's going through your head at this point?
if I saw whale tail, I would have blown immediately. But I did see whale tail. I mean, it was, you know, that's what set me off.
Yeah.
He's a Taco Bell rapper.
Yeah.
Now that's so degrading and sleazy. I mean, that's just like frosting on the top. You know what I mean? Just like being so degrading and humiliating. That's a huge turn on for someone that would think that fantasy.
Let me set a scene for you guys. All right. Just to really get in there for a second for you listening.
Hold on. Gray ass drive. Desolate drive to the Midwest.
Right. You've been in the car for hours, just fucking crushing Taco Bell, eating hot spicy sauce packets. You probably been sucking down a couple of those packets.
Yeah, farting, heavy farts.
You get you don't want to stop anywhere to take a shit, so you just keep farting in the car. You get that car so steamy and hot that the windows fog up, you know. And then you bring, and then your dick is out too, and your balls, and they've just been roasting in that fart stink and the sweat pooling of you in a, you know, like an 83-degree car.
God, yes,
just blasting down the highway. Just imagine what that just all that kinetic energy in that car, just getting ready to just explode. The smells, the sounds.
Yeah, it's a 2002 Nissan Sentra.
Ooh, even better.
And you know, there's McDonald's. You know, there's some fries, undiscovered fries in the back.
Yeah, there's other rappers around.
Oh yeah, like the Taco Bell wrapper you use. You're like,
I don't know if it's not fresh
from today or from like a couple weeks ago. That is a slimy, sick, fucking sexual, horny story.
Hey, I just want to jump in on something real quick. I just had an idea.
Shoot, man.
That I want to talk about. So it's something that happened to me. I was in a barber shop getting my hair cut, and I finish up. I hop out of the seat and I start walking. My backpack comes open, and a whole bunch of those like medical sample cups full of cum fall out. Mm-hmm. And the guy sitting next to me gets up and he's like, "Hey, you dropped this. You dropped this." He picks up the vials, and I'm like, "Oh, thanks. You know what? You can have those." And the guy's like, "Are you sure? There's like 3 ounces of cum in here." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll just get more." It's like, you'll get more. How will you do that? And I say, I'll get more by playing Sex Simulator. Sex Simulator is a sexual video game where you build a girl of your dreams, one skill at a time, to the best porn game ever. Building a babe of your dreams sounds like that. Simply a dream, an impossible fantasy, something that will never happen in a million years. Well, in case you did not know, virtually is very possible. Sex Emulator does that and a hell of a lot more. It's easily one of the most entertaining adult games ever released for the web. Warning, once you play, you may not be able to stop. To say Sex Simulator is an addictive adult game would be the hugest understatement in history. Just imagine 3D porn games that let you build the perfect woman of your dreams, but it doesn't end there. Not by a long shot. Sex Emulator lets you train your wonderful woman in all kinds of nasty but useful sexual skills. Blowjobs, spanking, anal, straight fucking, BDSM, and more. Once you're on Sex Emulator, the fun never ends.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Have you played it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Really, really hooks you in, you know?
Yeah, Nathan sent me the coupon code Fant Freak podcast. If you type that in, you get a discount.
Yeah.
The game they charge you an hour. It's like per hour. It's kind of like a throwback to old peep shows in New York City. And I think people actually can see you on your camera like while you're playing the game. So that's like an extra layer of titillation. Should you be into that sort of thing? But it's phenomenal.
They have it's 30% off if you log on between the hours of 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. So I'll set an alarm on my phone, wakes me up, hop on this game for a while, just see what's going on, you know, check in on my woman that I created, and then just hop back off, go back to sleep, get ready for work in an hour.
To make sure she's fed and rested and like exercises and stuff. It's like a gigapet.
So, yeah, like a Tamagotchi or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a Tamagotchi tip.
I was thinking, remember a couple episodes ago, Mike, you were talking about women being able to have a place where they go to torture people and to blow off some steam. I thought it'd be cool to have like a video game like that where you basically keep somebody tied up in your basement. And, you know, like you get to torture them and you get to make them look like however you want. And, you know, like just like in real life, if you don't feed them or if you beat them too hard, they'll die. So it's about like keeping them alive and while still, you know, chained to the radiator or whatever.
That's really sick, man.
Nasty.
That's really fucked up. That reminds me, you mentioned women, so that makes me want to jump into my fantasy. I'm kind of interested in exploring this. Now, this is a work in progress. It's not like fully developed like John's is. Okay, so I'm kind of like pretty similar to how I am now. I'm around 40 years old, and I have a couple friends that have beautiful wives and families and stuff. And I've always been kind of like not liked by my friends' wives and girlfriends. Now they're married. And it's like, I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, let's amp this up. You know what I mean? I'm obviously intrigued by this. So my friends are throwing a birthday party, okay, at a fancy restaurant. We go there and I bring my wife. She's dressed up and she looks beautiful as always. I'm a fit guy. I've been going to the gym and I have a six pack. I got a couple gray hairs, but you can tell I can still get it up and fight if I wanted to. So I'm actually in pretty good shape. My friends' wives are also knockouts. One of them's blonde. The other one's a redhead. And my friends are my exact same height. We're into the same kind of stuff. One of them has a goatee. The other one has sandy hair. We go to this restaurant and we're eating. We're having the time of our life. Embarrassing ourselves, treating the wait staff like shit. You know what I mean? Not even looking at them, calling them garçon and stuff like that. But we don't care. It's like that. It's like in Heat. It's that kind of vibe. You know when they go out for dinner? Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. The perfect night. And I go to the bathroom, I look in the mirror, and I'm like, all right, it's time to shine. These guys, these bros, they love you. So you need to show them that you love them. I go back into the restaurant, and I just right off the bat, Cindy, my friend's wife, I'm just like, I just start in with her. I was like, I always thought you were kind of a brat. Let's just say brat. The whole time I've known you, I've never just you're a brat. Straight up and down the line. You know what I mean? I just starting fights with them. And let's say the other woman's name is Tracy. I'm like, well, that's why you and Tracy always talk shit about us because, you're jealous of us. Stuff like that. Little bitchy things like that driving them crazy. They start yelling at me, screaming at me. They're not afraid to show their opinion. That's why they're, with my two friends. You know what I mean? Because they're strong women. And I just, I just use it as an opportunity to ruin the night, flip the table over, and I'm like, blah, 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 shut the hell up. You know what I mean? I pour like a glass of wine all over the table. This meal sucks. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Just being like a real dickhead. Just like like reality TV level stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm driving home with my wife, and she's like, why did you do that? Why did you act like that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, it's important for me to have my friends' wives like hate my guts. You know what I mean? Because it makes their lives easier. You know what I mean? That way they don't pick on their husbands. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm protecting my friends by being like as annoying as possible. And basically the end goal is to like have them go so crazy with anger towards me that they that just like strengthens your guys' relationships. And that's really it. I guess it's not really sexual. It's a fantasy of sorts, but it's a fantasy. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Taking on that role to be the bad guy, like in Scarface. I'm the bad guy.
That's loyalty, right? That's tribe. Taking one for the team.
Okay, I still got a little bit more. I get so lost in the character, I literally start doing cocaine, and that leads to like stronger drugs. One night, it's bath night. Okay, so I'm just laying lines out all night long. Just God knows what. I'm like, one last thing. I'm doing a line, and I'm like in the bathtub, like sending like selfies to everyone and stuff like that. I'm drinking. I'm like, last night to party. I'm gonna get my life together after this. Obviously, I fall asleep. Okay, and it's Christmas night. My wife has left me at this point because I've destroyed my life. I have a dream that I'm like in bed because I'm so comfortable, and a bunch of Christmas elves sneak through my window, and they tie me down with little bells, and they said, "You've been a bad boy." And I'm like, "What did I do? You guys are, I think they're cute, being playful." And then I see one of them has a giant syringe, and they're like, flip them around, and I'm like, "What do you do with that syringe? This isn't funny anymore." They stick it in my bottom. My butt gets huge. Okay, it gets bigger and bigger, and I'm actually like finding like it's turning me on in a way, and it just gets bigger and bigger. It gets like freakishly large, like the size of like 2 watermelons on my bottom. And they wrap me in the tightest leather you've ever seen in your life. Mm-hmm. High heels. They put makeup on me. And they make me like dance around and stuff. And they wrap tinsel all around me. And they use the tinsel to tie me to a wall. And then Santa Claus comes in. Doof. 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 I'm looking back with like a clenched teeth smile. And I'm like, oh, I'm really gonna get it. Doof. Closer. He opens the door. Ho, 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 you've been a bad boy. He's got a straight up aluminum baseball bat. He starts beating the hell out of my bottom. Ugh. Ugh. You know what I mean? And I'm loving every minute of it. I am creaming all over the place with every hit. Wow. Wow. You know what I mean? Just grabbing the back of my head. You like that? Well, we're not done. I've got a couple. My elves have more things planned for you. They start injecting my chest. My chest starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger under that latex. It's green and red latex, Harley Quinn design style. They flip me over. I can't even lay flat. My midsection is just like, is like arched like in the air because my ass is so big and my chest is so heavy. Santa Claus just starts sitting on my chest off on his bare bottom. And also, you know what I mean? So he's like reverse cowgirl on my chest, and he has candy canes, and he's just whacking my bottom in between my legs because my bottom is actually like protruding beyond my legs. You know what I mean? you ever seen like someone on Instagram who like really works on their bottom? You can actually see their bottom like from the front.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they're standing and their legs are like a little wide. It's like that. So he's like, imagine Santa Claus is just banging my bottom with like a big candy cane, like a drum, just beating it. And I'm just, it hurts, but I'm like loving every minute of it. I wake up, I'm in the ER. Okay. They just pumped my stomach. And I'm like, I gotta turn my life around. I get sober. I get out of the hospital. They wheel me on in a wheelchair. Tracy straight up guns it in her car and just runs me over because I've driven her insane by like being like the most hateful person. I mean, not like the most hated in our friend group. She kills me and she gets off on temporary insanity. She only has to do some community service.
It's another one you die at the end. I respect that.
In fantasy. What do you think that means?
Like I've said a bunch of times, is ultimate relief. It's a release that you just, what you can't top it.
Yeah.
Here, I gotta run. I gotta be go take a shit. I'll be right back. I wanted to tell you guys exactly what I'm doing, but I'll be back very soon.
Wow.
Jesus.
What a
fucking gross
scumbag. Oh my God.
Disgusting.
I gotta take a shit. Now I'm like wondering, like, did he listen to a word I said? He's just looking at me talk. He's squirming.
Fucking had the blinders on.
He's like squirming in that chair. I thought he was laughing. Jesus Christ.
What's up, Mike?
What's up, bro? I think that's it. I've been editing the last episode. It's really changed my whole perspective on the podcast.
Which one?
It's the one where doing so much. Oh, that's the one where you, the one with the man with one eye.
Oh,
the mountain climbing
the mountain. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. I just downloaded sound effects. I don't want to do it too. I don't want to make it like an Eminem song, but
does Nathan always put music and shit in it?
You honestly have never.
I've never listened to
it. This last podcast ends with you literally saying you've never heard an episode, and we're encouraging you to listen to it. Like, yeah, you should really check it out. And you're like, maybe I will one of these days.
Yeah, I've.
It might be for the best.
Yeah, maybe I should.
I don't know.
Maybe if I listen to one, I'll want to share it.
Oh yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean,
one of these days, it's I don't know what. This is why I'm like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. I like it. I think it's fun though. I've
it is fun.
I've shared it with people now.
Well, I've shared it with my group of guy friends. Like guys I talk to every day.
Yeah,
or at least chat with.
Uh-huh.
But once I put it on Instagram, it's like family and shit like that.
Yeah, didn't you share something on Instagram that was like, you share some dirty shit on Instagram though?
I've shared some weird shit, but never anything that I've specifically like. Not me talking about getting topped off by another dude or something.
Well, if you are considering of ever doing that, you should listen to it to see how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
And you might find it's like, oh, this is oh, sorry, he's back.
I didn't hear a word of anything you said in your fantasy. I was sitting here squirming around, trying not to shit myself.
All my legit fantasy, because obviously I just look at porn, but the realest fantasy I think I've ever told is where I'm getting my face smashed by a bunch of asses.
Yeah.
Like that's a real.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like that's in my head often.
Wow.
How cool would that feel?
That would be
wet
really
asses
cool.
Just beating my face in.
Where would you find a bunch of people to do that to you?
It'd have to be like a swingers type situation.
Just some of the nicest people you can meet.
Yeah, good people.
Would they hit it so hard that you'd feel like the bone of their ass through it?
Yeah, because none of them. These aren't going to be people that have perfect asses. You know what I mean? It's going to be like oddly shaped, just down home Midwestern people.
Yeah. I picture like a those like on your desk you have that like ball that you pull it back and you drop it and it like hits Forget what it's called.
Yeah.
I picture a situation like that where you're in the center and there's like 5 different women with their ass facing you, and there's someone like pushing them at you. And you're just getting,
but you know, when
just knocked around.
You know, when that thing goes out of rhythm and gets all fucked up, it would be more like that. Like, I'd get hit with an ass, and then
you'd be like a boxer getting the shit beat out of him, but is still being held up on the ropes by the opposing boxer who's just kicking the shit out of him, even though they're unconscious. You just
he's hitting me from all sides.
Yeah, you just be getting kept up by the momentum of the asses hitting your face. You're rock hard this whole time.
Sure,
you're barely conscious.
So you put there's music in every episode too? I'll listen.
I put like light erotic, like smooth jazz shit like behind when the fantasy starts, just to like cue in the listener that there's a fantasy happening. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
I'm getting a little sillier with it.
Yeah, do it, dude. Go crazy.
A little bit.
Mike, I've noticed you've got a lot. What's great about doing this with you guys for a while is I start to get to know your fantasies a little bit, and having a bunch of like little guys break into your house and tie you down. I feel like that's come up a couple times for you.
Yeah, there's been multiple break-ins
where they're either
like everyone's had a break-in story.
They're either elves or something, or like gnomes, or somebody's tying you down. Some cute little guys are tying you down.
Yeah, I like that. I like a little bit like John. You know what I mean? I like big group stuff. In my real life, I like big group stuff. I've always been like that.
Yeah.
And people teasing me. You know what I mean? And hurting me and laughing at me.
Yeah. There's something cool about Santa Claus giveth and taketh away too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Beating you and then withholding affection from you.
I mean, it's like he's trying to hurt me, but he can't break me in a way.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's dealing with. He's actually the one being used.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, exactly.
He's in over his head.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I got so this is I don't do a lot of celebrity fantasies. I do, but rarely. This is a celebrity fantasy. So I'm a guy. Let me just take a little bit of time to kind of paint this picture of the kind of guy I am. I'm short, but I have I'm short and round, but I have kind of like strong, taut legs. And the reason why I say that is because you can see them all the time because I'm wearing cut off jean shorts that extend below my knees. I'm bald. I have a septum piercing and a bunch of really big earrings in each ear. I wear rings. I'm like, my skin looks like a pigskin would. Like it's that kind of like white and pink. My hair I'm very hairy. My body is very hairy. I'm probably like 5'4". I wear combat boots, and I have a bunch of shirts of like obscure horror movies that you've never heard of, industrial bands you've never heard of. I'm like 48 years old. I have a kid who's like 13 years old now from a previous relationship that I don't really see anymore. And I write web comics, and I write these like dark web comics that are the illustration is pretty bad, but you see it enough, you just kind of get used to it, and it's good enough to kind of like suck you into the story. So I write these dark, twisted versions of children's nursery rhymes. All right, so let me give you an example of one. So Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, right? So in my version, Jack and Jill are like getting, they've got like a bottle of like a pint of whiskey, and they're getting loaded, and they climb up to the top of this hill to look out over the city. And Jack starts getting too handsy with Jill, and she's like, I don't know if I want to do that. And Jack starts to get aggressive, and he starts trying to impose himself on her, force himself on her. And she kicks him off, and they're both wasted at this point. He falls down the hill, cracks his head, he dies. She is so just like beside herself. She starts like staggering backwards. She slips, she falls down, she cracks her head, she dies, right? Another one I'm working on is there's a neighborhood in this like fictional city. Think of it like a Gotham City, right? There's a neighborhood called the Cobbler's Bench. It used to be an old shoemaking district, right? And I'm a mob snitch known as the Weasel, right? So all around the Cobbler's Bench, I'm getting chased by this mob boss who's trying to kill me, and he's known as the Monkey, right? So all around the Cobbler's Bench, the Monkey chases the Weasel. And me as the Weasel, I'm like this slick talking guy who thinks I can talk my way out of any situation. And I think it's all fun. But what happens when the Monkey gets me in the sight, boom, pop goes the Weasel. You know what I mean? I'm dead. So I get a lot of, I get some fans. I have like 10,000 followers on Instagram. So nothing to sneeze at, but nothing crazy. I get a call from a Hollywood agent who's like, hey, I represent M. Night Shyamalan, and he's making a Netflix series about a bunch of different kind of like twisted children's stories, and he wants to include one of yours in his in this project. And I'm like, oh shit, fuck, that's great, yeah, why not? So he flies me out to LA. I sit down with him. I'm like, wow, I'm like a huge fan. I'm very starstruck, and we go over this one of my stories, and we break it apart, and we kind of turn it into a TV show, and it airs. And I'm on a first name basis with M. Everybody calls him M around the shoot. Really nice guy, really friendly. His wife comes by. One on like the show wrap, she baked cookies for everybody. Just kind of a real wholesome kind of a guy when you wouldn't really think so, because his movies are so just brilliant and cutting edge, and the twist, you just never see him coming a mile away. And here I am in the presence of greatness, and the show airs. It's a huge success. I get a lot of acclaim. I move out to LA because I think I can probably find some more work. And I get a call from M, and M is like, listen, why don't you come over to my house? We're going to talk season 2. My wife's going to make some food for us. She's a great cook. I'm like, yeah, cool. So I come on over. He's got just, beautiful house in the valley, and we sit down, and his wife is making a linguine and clams, but like really good clams. They don't taste fishy or smell fishy at all, and it's really good meal. Some nice red wine from Napa Valley, and M starts saying, listen, we loved your episode. Is the clear standout. We want the whole season 2 to be just you. The rest of your web comics, we want to make that all into season 2. And I'm like, oh my God, this is huge. This is a dream come true. I can quit my day job. I can just pursue my art. I'm like, this is amazing. He's like, yeah, so it's something to think about. I know you're excited about it, but we still have to clear it with, the producers and everything, but it's sounding like it's really possible. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And his wife comes up behind me, and she's like, oh, congratulations. We just love your work so much. And she starts rubbing my shoulders and kissing my neck and like kind of coming on to me. And I'm like, what's going on? And she leans in, she whispers, and she's like, shh, don't worry about it. Just go with it. And so she starts like, her hands go down my chest, and she starts like rummaging her fingers around in my chest hair, and M slides the table aside. It's got wheels on it, and he slides it aside, and he comes closer, and he starts leaning in and like kissing me. And I'm thinking like, oh man, this is kind of weird. I don't know that I'm into it, but I'm kind of, I live on the fringes of society. This isn't that crazy. I'm about to get in a 3-way with M. Night Shyamalan, his beautiful wife. And so he sits down in his chair, he takes off his pants, pulls them down around his ankles, and his dick is out. And he looks down, he lights up a cigar, and he looks down like he wants me to go down on him. And his wife leans over, and she's has her hand down my pants, and she starts to play with me a little bit. And she's like, go ahead, kiss it. So I lean over, and I start going down on him. M. Night, and he's really enjoying it. He's making all the noises, and his wife is kind of like standing behind me, giving me a reach around. And she gets a phone call and she's still tugging on me while she's talking on the phone, and it's something having to do with a subscription that she tried to cancel but didn't end up getting canceled. So she gets up and she walks out of the room because she's kind of getting frustrated and annoyed with this phone call, and so she leaves. So I'm just sitting there sucking off M. Night, and I keep going, and I look up at him like, do I kind of give him the look of like, do I stop? Should I wait for your wife to come back? And he's like, keep going. And so I keep going. He ropes in my mouth. I kind of like, the first time I've ever taken a load, so I kind of don't know what to do, and I just kind of like coyly, just like, sheepishly kind of swallow it because I don't want to spit it out in front of him and offend him. And he pulls up his pants and just leaves the room. Right. I get a knock at the door. I don't see his wife or him. There's a knock at the door. I go, I open the door, and it's like, hey, I'm a car service. Somebody called me to come pick you up and take you home. So I'm like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. So I leave. A few days go by. I'm feeling just weird about the whole situation. I get a call from M. Night, and he's like, hey, listen, come on over. It's just going to be me and you tonight, but we can order some takeout and talk about season 2. And I tell him, I'm like, I don't really feel comfortable going over to your house again. No offense, like happy to, we can meet somewhere neutral in a studio office or something like that. And he's like, oh, no, I get it totally. So the next day I get a notification from his agent that I'm no longer on the project anymore. And I'm like, fuck. So I'm feeling pretty bummed out. A couple months go by and I get a knock on the door from a lawyer, and the lawyer's like, yeah, we reached out to you because our law firm is representing a bunch of clients in a class action lawsuit against M. Night. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, he's apparently been pretty leveraging like sex and power to over people that he works with, and it's kind of catching up to him, and we want you to be a part of this lawsuit. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So I come over to the law firm, and there's everybody, all the plaintiffs in the class action lawsuit are there. And I look around, and they're all guys who look exactly like me. They're guys in their 40s or early 50s, like weird, nerdy comic book type guys, don't take care of themselves, bad skin, terrible style. They have weird tics. Like a guy, I look over and he's has his mouth like he's using a straw like this, like he's sucking in a straw, and just keeps doing that over and over again. And I look around and I'm like, this is, it just dawns on me that these are the kinds of guys that M. Night Shyamalan likes to fuck. And that's the end of the fantasy. That's it.
That was wild.
Incredible.
I hope I took you guys there with me. That was the idea. Is I wanted you to be kind of in the room with me while I went on this journey.
Yeah, you kind of.
I mean,
you spend a lot of time building up the character.
Yeah.
You get into his head, you find out what makes him tick. You know what I mean? You build him up from the ground up.
How sexy would that be to be in the presence of somebody you admire artistically like that? Somebody, quite frankly, as brilliant, if not more, than Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh my God. The man makes culture.
Yeah.
He makes American culture.
This guy...
He's on the Mount Rushmore of culture.
Yeah. Like this guy directed The fucking Village.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let me go over my notes. It starts off. You're getting into this guy's head. You're embodying him, and his sexual fantasies a little bit. You kind of get a sense of them, like what he's into, which is like these childlike nursery rhymes with a dark edge. Mm-hmm. That kind of ties them all together. And you're thinking, where's the celebrity? This is a celebrity fantasy. When does a celebrity come in? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Finally, we hear M. Night Shyamalan, and immediately you're like, this is going to turn extremely hot very soon. Okay. You didn't even describe his wife, but you can tell that she is a absolute knockout. And when she starts rubbing your chest, that's when I went into a deeper, richer sexual space. Season 2. And then just picturing you arched back, you know what I mean, midday on a carpet, M. Night, displaying all this power, the cigar in his hand. His wife has left the room. How terrifying and titillating that is. You know?
Yeah.
And then, on top of that, realizing that you're just another version of this guy, how humiliating and disgusting you must feel, and just like how like erotic that feeling is. Just being just a piece of meat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Being used like a piece of meat.
That's how it felt.
Yeah.
Like I felt like it was special at the time. And despite all the like feeling like I was being used and objectified, I still felt like I was desirable. I was desired by somebody.
Huh. That's incredible.
I thought he was gonna ash on your head at some point.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
That'd be fitted as hell.
Yeah, it'd be fucked up, but kind of awesome.
Is that what fitted means?
Fitted? I think so.
Oh, I didn't know that. Nora keeps saying it.
Nora does?
Yeah, she says, it's fitted. I thought it meant cool.
God, I'm looking at pictures of him right now.
Fitted is cool.
Oh, okay, cool. That's fitted as fuck.
Thinking about sucking this guy's dick.
Oh, yeah?
We'll look him up.
There's a picture of him like...
Somehow I can envision him perfectly. Baggy eyes, bushy hair.
Yeah.
Kind of an insecure look on his face.
Always. He tries to look intense, but he just never quite pulls it off. He seems like he's just a nice guy, you know, but whatever.
Ugh.
Well, you did it again, Nathan.
What's that?
That was another great fantasy.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's going to make a lot of people very horny.
Good. That's what I was
think
hoping.
You're going to save some relationships tonight.
I was hoping that people would be able to connect with a part of themselves and maybe inspire them to touch themselves. I know we've talked about that. You know,
I'm starting to come over to your side.
the limitations of that.
You might be right.
What do you guys think about my idea about, you know, how if you're a rich person having a dinner party, you hire like a chef to come over, or like maybe there's a chef that uses like weed infused food and you do it that way or whatever. Thought it'd be cool if we can't, you know, sure we can do cameos and stuff like that, but you know, for the kind of like bigger, higher ticket items, we could go over to people's dinner parties and help them to get hard, you know, help them to get off, maybe come in and tell a quick little fantasy about, you know, as an appetizer, and then come in after dinner and just finish them off.
And you're clearly separated from the party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not eating with them.
No, I'm in the kitchen sitting on the counter playing on my phone the whole time.
Right. It's showtime. You go in there and you tell a story about like an erotic story.
Yeah, the story
a
I was
horny
thinking,
neighbor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The story I was thinking about telling was about a puppet who comes to life, kind of like Pinocchio, but he only has like 5 minutes to be like a real person. So he like feverishly and like starts to suck his own dick in the hopes to be able to bust before he turns back into a puppet. And everybody in that room, and then I walk out and I just hear like squirting noises, moaning noises, slapping noises.
Yeah.
Everyone's turned on.
Yeah, yeah.
The little circle window of the dual swinging door to the kitchen, it's just, you just see it covered in stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I'm not doing the fantasy justice. I like the way I tell it is really
all eyes are on you. Yeah. Everyone's listening with bated breath.
It's like showing you a picture of the Mona Lisa versus you seeing it in real life, you know.
Right.
So if you were there, yeah, you'd probably be hard too. So I don't know. Just something I was thinking about.
Would be cool. You know what else would be cool?
What's that?
You're in the park. A woman walks by.
Mm-hmm.
You You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You whistle at her. She's wearing yoga pants. She turns around, stops, and you're like, uh-oh, here comes trouble. You even say that out loud.
Yeah.
She comes up to you, starts making out with you. You guys start groping each other.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of the park. We're talking 11 a.m. You're unemployed. You guys have sex on a park bench.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She walks away. You see this where you're in Central Park. You see her go to the most expensive looking building you've ever seen in your piece of shit life. You just had sex with a wealthy, attractive person. How cool would that be?
That would be cool.
That'd be really cool.
Pretty cool, huh?
So cool.
That's just a little bit of what I think about.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one. You're driving in a car.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you're at a stop sign.
Yeah.
A beautiful woman is at a bus stop. Dark hair. You roll down the window, hey, you want to ride? She goes, sure. She gets in the car. You guys are driving. He said, do you like music? And she's like, cut the shit. Let's go back to my place. It's 5 minutes away. We can have sex with each other. You go there, you have sex with this stranger. She's like, that was great. I don't want to see you ever again, but I had a great time. Bye. You go and finish out the rest of your errands for the day. And that's that. You never see her again.
Yeah, that would be hot.
It's pretty hot, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I got one, Mike.
I got one more for you.
Okay.
You're at a golf course. You're trying to get some holes in on your lunch break. You're supposed to be working. You played hooky.
Uh-huh.
A woman's golf cart is broken down. She's wearing a short skirt and she's attractive. Surprise, surprise. She says, I can't get this damn thing to work. You walk up to her and you're like, oh, let me see the hood. You lift up the hood. She just looks at you, puts her hand on your hand, and she says, do me right here. You guys do it on the golf cart. You finish your game. You go home. That's it. It's a beautiful day. Thanks,
It's pretty
man.
amazing.
Johnny, you have COVID right now, so you're in the right frame of mind. You ever think about just like two people with COVID having sex with each other? Two strangers with COVID go to a doctor's office. You're both getting
Like they both get diagnosed. The doctor's like, you have COVID, and then you just see someone just start having sex because you know.
Yeah, it's safe. And you both
like that.
You get freaky in the car, in the backseat of the car.
I had some COVID dreams, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I had a dream that there was this like a huge soup bowl, like this enormous bowl, and there's this like 70 or 80 naked people with like it's like everyone had broken bones, and they're completely naked and they're just smashed into this bowl.
Wow.
And there was a little kid that was grabbing them like a baby, like a really huge, massive baby. And he was grabbing each person's body out of the bowl and straightening them. And then he was throwing them in this large trash can. And I had this dream for like 15 hours, like while I was sick the first day. And it was fucked up.
Sounds like it
was fucking weird.
Sounds like
it was
right wing political cartoon. Ben Garrison.
Yeah. That was wild.
I can picture it.
That's fucked up.
I did have sex on Saturday though. I had 101 fever.
Damn. That's brain damage sex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. Throughout your whole COVID journey, what was the most yellow you've seen your piss?
Well, I haven't had any water to drink.
You don't.
I've been drinking Red Bull, and so everything's like. At one point, I thought it was blood. It was kind of like an orangish sort of piss.
Yeah.
Red Bull has water in it, but
Yeah.
you don't want to drink water.
No, it's not. It's you're not supposed to take Tylenol or drink water when you have COVID.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to eat anything either. Yeah.
Right. Just caffeine, so it works through your system faster. You're also supposed to smoke a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.